for you just to briefly introduce yourself to our audience. We're broadcasting to Facebook, not Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn right now, and YouTube too.
You're amazing that you pulled all that off. I was like flipping through all my tech and loading things, and I thought,
Oh
okay,
my
I'll
gosh,
get
thank you
there.
for
I'll
rolling
get
with
there.
me.
That's awesome. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you, Dewi, for having a quick conversation with me today. It's so much fun. I'm Kimberley Elliott, and I'm a leadership embodiment coach, and I work with women who feel tired or worried or just are playing too small and not really standing in their power. And we do lots of fun things together. We do private coaching. I have a women's group, classes, so all kinds of ways to connect with me.
Yes, and Kimberly, as I mentioned earlier, when I was doing my best to fill space and figure out the tech, Kimberly is one of our council guides for Rebel Heart Convergence. So her and I met a week or two ago and recorded a beautiful conversation about really embodied leadership, which Kimberly is an expert on, and which I believe so deeply in, especially for these times. And so this convergence is specifically calling out to women in particular who are leaders or are like stepping into more of their leadership and feel missioned in some way to serve a population, maybe people in their own backyard or on a global stage, some kind of consciousness shift in their work, some kind of transformation in their work, and to guide other people from a way of separation, that illusion of separation, to a unity consciousness. And it all starts from within. So anything you want to say about that, Kimberly, and how you see your work fitting into this?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I know we talked about centering in our thing that's going to be released next week, and I got an intuitive hit before the call to grab one of my card decks. I love card decks, so this is the one I grabbed, and I pulled a card for us, and I thought I'm just going to pull a card and see what like shows up, and we can like riff on that. And of course, first of all, look at that image. Amazing woman, the moon behind her, standing strong and tall in her power, just like so inspiring. And the words are deep replenishment. Retreat, rest, be held. So this is really important, and to leadership, to women being able to step into their power. And it's something that's, my brand is leadership wellness. And so nourishment, replenishment, being able to identify when the energy is dropping, or when like I'm saying yes when I mean no, or I'm giving and it's like there's nothing left for me, because we need to be able to identify that and then course correct, so that we can actually show up in our fullness, in our brightness, with our wisdom clearly coming through from a place of vitality, purpose, energy. So that was the perfect card. I just, it always works out. So I love that.
So appropriate, now retrospectively, since I have led all of the interviews.
Yeah.
And there's a theme emerging, and it is very much about return to center. Nothing's going to happen
Beautiful.
out there, quote unquote, out there. The wars that we see, the violence, it's all a reflection, that what we're moving away from, that the things we don't prefer.
Yeah.
We have to be able to come back to ourselves to see, how am I at war with myself? How am I at war with my brother, my sister, the other, the seeming other? And that can only really, my belief is, that can only really happen when we do the inner work. within. It all stems back to the self source, the self sourcing, which is what you talk about with centering, right?
Yeah, because centering is you return back to yourself from a place that is clear, focused. There may even be some peacefulness in there to really be able to respond out. So there's an inner, and then there's like, how do I want to respond now? When we're centered, we can actually get really clear about how we want to respond and respond in a way that we're receptive to others and we are creating deeper connection, and our embodied wisdom can be part of our expression. It can come out and be received and,
Right.
come out into the world. We can be seen, we can be heard, all that stuff that sometimes when we're playing small, it's like, oh, I don't know. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for bringing it there, because that pretty much exclusively work with leaders. I mean, that's the focus of your entire brand. And what are you seeing, like, as the women that you work with, maybe in the more recent past, or maybe within the last few years? What do you see as a theme that's emerging, or like some of
Yeah.
the similarities these women have, like in terms of how they are then going into the world differently, and the change that they're affecting? I would love to hear about that.
Yeah. And I just want to define for the listeners, like in my world, um, being a leader is about being connected to your self leadership. So it doesn't necessarily mean I work in an organization and I'm leading a team. It can mean I am a mother and I'm like leading my family, or I'm part of a specific type of community and I'm showing up from my power in a way that's influencing and impacting community to move towards our shared values, our shared goals. So that's really important, because I think sometimes people hear leader and they think CEO, right? Like, it can be a CEO, and I do work with CEOs, and it's so much fun, but it kind of spans the gamut of roles. And the things I'm seeing and hearing from women leaders is, gosh, that self-doubt that creeps in. Um, it's so weird because it's like the women have this clarity and they're connected to their wisdom, and then that little voice or saboteur, I call it, comes in and it's like, who are you to think you can share this? Or, oh, I don't know, this feels a little not so comfortable for me to like put it out there. And so it's really working with strengthening the clarity, but also strengthening the boldness of like, what do I need to truly stand in my power and to bring that wisdom forward in a way that my system remains calm. I'm able to keep returning to center as conversations unfold and new people come into the mix, because there's so much that's like swirling out there in the world, right? Personalities, situations, context, disasters, chaotic moments, unexpected tech challenges, right, that come in. And it's like, oh, how do I want to show up and handle that? And how can I build skills within me so that I can walk my path and be a warrioress in the way that I fiercely move forward, while still holding that heart of compassion and tuned into that wisdom piece that I own and know, and that's part of my cellular DNA, that sort of feeds into my message and all that I want to bring forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that's so beautiful. I'm really glad you defined the leadership piece.
Mm,
um, I have said that before as well. Like, you could be leading in your own home, with your own family. And it's this intention, though, to see yourself as someone who can affect change and who is
Yes.
responsible as a creator to be able to. I would say, everyone that we play with is on a growth path.
Yeah, on some level.
Yeah, and they are. There's something within them that is calling them forward, or maybe it's being reflected in.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this for this call and just about your Rebel Heart convergence that you've created. And first, I just want to say, like, I love the diversity of women you brought in and the different, like, perspectives that they're approaching this idea of Rebel Heart. I'm really excited just to tune into some of those talks next week. But I was thinking about, because I'm starting my Fierce Leadership Women's Circle, and I was thinking about, well, what does that really mean? Like, how do I want to talk about that? Because I think in like corporate America, sometimes fierce is like, I'm going to be like one of the boys and you know fit in and do this blah, kind of intensity. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because we need the yang energy. I was thinking about it as yin and yang, right? Like that yang energy is needed to take action, to like move into structures and things that move us forward. But often the yin gets kind of pushed behind or pushed back, and the yin is like that softness, that creativity that we as women like naturally embody. It's part of what we bring. And yeah, I was just playing with that in my head, and it's like that merging of the two with the unique individual body embodied wisdom that each of us carries. It's like, how do we bring that out in a way where we're merging the yin and the yang? There's a little bit of yin and yang, a little bit of yang and yin, right? We play with that. And that's what we're going to be doing. Like that's part of what's being called for right now, is like, how does that emergence and melding happen from my divine feminine wisdom body, right? So, and I was thinking, like, how can I express this in physical, like, embodiment?
Mhm.
So I was thinking about the hand, right? I'm going to back up so you can see my hand. And there's like, we can make a fist. There's some yang in this, right? Or we can open our hand wide and stretch the fingers, and there's some, you can feel the intensity, the power of that, right? And that's the yang. And then we can also open the hand or call in some energy, and that's very yin. And so with both hands, this is kind of fun to play with. Make a fist, take the other hand and try to open it, but like hold that fist and just notice what happens in your body, what you do, what that's like. Then shake that off. Then make the fist again. And this time with the other hand, instead of trying to pry it open, just put it underneath and hold the hand. And notice what happens to the fist when you place the hand there. What's happening for you, Dewi? I'm always curious.
It's kind of softening.
Yes, it totally softens.
Mhm.
And that's that integration, right? Like sometimes we need the fist, especially when we're having like we're advocates, or we're really standing up for rights, or calling in something powerfully, but then we bring in that softness, and there's just like a the breath gets to happen,
Oh
and there's a way that it emits out, that the transmission with another is actually receivable and becomes this powerful medicine, chemistry, alchemy. I don't know what people call it, all kinds of things.
right.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring that. I hope that gives a little bit
Thank
of
you.
like
Yeah, that was
embodied way
perfect.
of understanding.
I love the way you wove that in, and I am so grateful that you're a part of this experience. Everyone, please sign up at bit.ly/Rebel Heart World. We do need to wrap up now. Kimberly, I just appreciate you so much. You're such
Same.
magic. Seriously, like you're to me, like I see you like I see you really connected with your little girl, with the inner
Oh,
girl.
always.
I love her. She's so coming through when I meet with you, and I wanted to reflect that to you. And thank
Thank
you
you.
again for all your beautiful contributions to the things that I've invited you to. And let's blast this out. I'll edit the video down if I can, so I get that
Okay,
cut
awesome.
in the beginning. And yeah, I just appreciate you so much. Anything you want to depart with? Any final words?
I think just remembering the card of this deep replenishment. It's like, how are you replenishing yourself so that you can actually move into this powerful way of bringing your wisdom to the world?
Beautiful. Thank you for pulling that
Yeah.
card. That was perfect. I love that deck. I'm going to get it now.
Yeah, it's a good one. Okay.
Thank you so